right, ladies and gentlemen. This is Honest to God, a production of the Quest Atlanta's Catholic Radio. Super pumped to be here today. We are rocking and rolling. We have got everyone's favorite guest, Emma. She just had an incredible show that will be coming out, I don't know, before or after this one? Any idea, Producer Madeline?
I believe before.
Right. Yeah. And that is, this is a joke because every episode of Honest to God is filmed live. It is 4 o'clock on a Saturday right now. It's exciting stuff. And we got Leo. Leo's a pro.
Yeah, I've been here a few times.
Yeah, we've already had this episode. Interesting. That's a. I know we're not supposed to do fun facts anymore, but that's the only fun fact I got is that we already filmed this episode and then it disappeared somehow through weird.
Yeah, cameras acting up. But
cool. So we're
that's
back.
why, yeah.
And I'm excited. I like you guys. I'm excited about talking about all the same stuff again with you guys today. So today we're going to be talking about sort of technology, kind of media-specific technology, and drilling into do's, don'ts, advice, whatever, all that stuff, just seeing where it goes. You guys are professionals at winging it, which I appreciate. But before we do that, we do have to open in prayer. Leo, would you mind leading us?
Sure. In the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. Dear Lord, thank you for this day. Help us to, keep on topic and talk about good things. Anyone listening, please touch their hearts in any way you can through us. And we ask this through Christ's name.
Amen. Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. Amen. I don't grade prayers, but if I did, it's a solid, we give it a 91. Oh, that's good. That's good. Yeah, that's good on the prayer scale. And you don't get bonuses, right? You don't get there's ways to get prayer. Never mind. I don't grade prayers anymore, and I've been specifically told to stop doing this, so I'm going to just move on from this. Also, don't do fun facts anymore. So I guess we're just going to jump in. I left earlier to go get a drink, and producer Madeline said she was going to get the whole show mapped out, and she handed me a piece of paper where all she had done is scratch out my title and write a new title beside it. So
it was mapped out in my head, just not on the paper.
No, it was great. So and I am glad because originally I think the way this was presented was technology, and I always think that's such a ridiculously ridiculously broad term. When I was working at Holy Spirit Prep 15 years ago or something, we had to fill out something about technology, like technology use in the classroom. And I had a teacher, a dear friend of mine, who I will not name, who wrote the most snarky answers. Like the whole thing was, how are you incorporating the use of technology? And obviously what they meant is digital, whatever technology. And he gave a history of the pencil and paper. It was these are excellent forms of technology. Thank goodness the Egyptians figured out papyrus pressing and all of this stuff. That was very, very funny. So awesome. We're going to be talking more about media specific in here. And I just want to open this up generally, right? And just sort of real quick round robin. I don't know. What are you using? What are you into? What do you do? What do you in regards to digital media in particular? I spend a ton of time on a computer, like probably a lot of us do, for the sake of work and school and all of that good stuff. But I'm actually not a big media consumer. I don't have any personal social media. I have a television that is connected to a DVD player, and we have dozens and dozens and dozens of DVDs, and that's about it. Oh, and I'm sorry, just full disclosure. We also watch Beast games on Wednesday nights as a family. And that's about it. That's pretty much what I'm going to do. Have you seen Beast games, Producer Madeline?
Are you talking about Mr. Beast?
Mr. Beast has an Amazon show.
I tried to watch with my roommate, but we got into his first thing that he put out. And I got 3 episodes in, but I was like, I can't do this.
No, you're talking about his YouTube channel. I'm talking about his Amazon show.
Yeah.
What do you? It's the most ridiculous.
It's ridiculous.
But there's nothing. There doesn't seem to be anything objectionable in it. It's just dumb, stupid fun, and it's one night a week, and we look forward to it all week. And it's okay for my kids to watch.
Yeah, and I'm so happy that you do that with your family.
Thanks, Producer Madeline.
It's the same reason that me and my roommates used to watch The Bachelorette.
It is very similar. Yeah, yeah. But all of that is to say, is aside from Beast games and my DVDs, I'm not a major consumer of digital media. I read the news. I get a little newsletter once a day that gives me sort of the big highlights of what's going on in the world, and that's more or less it. So I don't know. What about you?
I'm like currently, I don't really have. Well, I have Facebook because of Facebook Marketplace. Maybe you were commenting on that earlier.
I was going to say, the only reason anybody under the age of like 40 has Facebook anymore is for Facebook Marketplace.
That's true.
But yeah, for me personally, like, I don't know, I'm on like a journey of like trying to find like more independence on God, and I found that like social media at times has been like a massive obstacle, whether that's like YouTube shorts or just like movies. But yeah.
So what does that mean? You're just on a like everything fast? Last time, did you still have the cool phone?
I don't have it on me.
Okay.
Yeah, I do have the cool phone. However, it's kind of interesting because every like iPhone, you can set up the settings where you only can have like 1 minute on social media.
Yeah.
And then you can delete the app store.
Right.
And then you can like have your friend put in a password.
Yeah.
That like it literally becomes a dumb phone. And like I don't know, I just like didn't really think that was like true. I actually heard of it before.
Right.
But then like my friend set it up, and yeah, it's like great. It's you can go on the internet for like however amount of time, and then once that time limit is up, you're done.
But I'm saying, just in regards to your daily life right now, are you like do you watch anything? Yes, you don't have any social media, I guess, but other than Facebook Marketplace,
there's no shows I'm on or anything.
Oh, good. We're all weird.
Yeah.
What about you, Emma? That sounded way more accusatory than I meant for it to.
I don't have any social media. I got rid of it a while ago. Once every blue moon, I go on Safari and go to Instagram.com and log in.
Okay.
Like I won't let myself download the app again, but I'll like go in through the browser just out of curiosity, and I can't do more than like 2 minutes, and then I'm like, I remember why I gave this up, and then I like log out. So I don't have anything. I kept YouTube for a while for like podcasts, and then got sucked into the black hole of YouTube Shorts.
Yeah.
My sisters dogged on me for it because they're like, that's the worst possible one you could be doing.
Yes.
They're like,
it's literally built
the worst
for
one.
like dopamine hit addiction to
but
your
even
screen.
just compared to Reels and TikTok, they're like, YouTube Shorts is like the knockoff brand. They're like, why?
But it feels less
feels the
dirty.
same.
It feels like I'm doing
Yeah.
something less bad
But
if it's
it
it's got YouTube in front of it for some reason, as
Yeah.
opposed to TikTok
true.
or Snapchat.
Yeah, I feel
or,
like the equivalent of going on YouTube Shorts is like going to Pinterest for memes.
That checks out. But I recently, like, I was spending a lot of time on it, and then it was like, okay, I'm spending too much time on it. Let me adjust and, like, only watch, like, a few a day. And then I noticed throughout the day I was, like, wanting to go watch it, and then I was like, is this even good? Do I even want to have to deal with this, like pull to watch this? And I was like, no, I don't. And I was like watching YouTube Shorts more than I was listening to podcasts, and there's Spotify, so I just deleted YouTube. So now I have nothing.
Yeah.
But I do watch TV every now and then, but it's more like I treat it like a leisure thing. So like once every like 2 weeks, maybe on like my off day from work, I don't have a lot going on, I'm just doing laundry, I'm like, yeah, I'm going to watch like a few episodes of a show.
The rule I've had to put on myself, and I want to make it clear, and I think I can speak for you guys too, right? When we're talking about these parameters we put on ourselves, it's not because we're really holy. It's because like we're weak human beings who have to treat ourselves like children, right? That's how I feel. I've got all the parental whatever's on my phone all locked down, right? I know my own passcode, but I would have to like go all the way like through settings to enable me to download some app or something. It's just never worth it. So I don't do it. Or when I start to, my brain has a moment to be like, wait a minute, this is dumb. You don't need this. This isn't helping you. This isn't going to make you a better man. Okay, I'll back away. But I don't know where I was going with that. I want to start though, because I feel like we're going to be doing the second half. I feel like we're going to do a lot of dunking on all things digital media related. But I want to start off by talking about the positives. What's the best stuff right now? What's a really good thing about our current digital technology, digital media environment right now? What are some real benefits? And I mean, I'm talking about social media. I'm talking about YouTube. I'm talking about everything. What are the positives? I feel like in the Catholic space, we talk about the negatives all the time.
Well, right off the bat, the main thing I thought of was like creativity-wise. But I mean, you could also make the argument like for thousands of years, people were really creative and came up with beautiful works and stuff. But there is like a lot of things that you find on like media of like people creating things and like with their like gifts, and it's really good. Or like, you know, like some people will use like short form media to do like their reels are like very artistic. So I think like that's kind of like some people like using their talents and like expressing it in that way, and then the amount of people it reaches, that's
Right.
kind of something that's cool, you know, if it's used correctly and not
Yeah.
bad.
I think from an evangelism standpoint, it's
Yeah.
been awesome.
It's huge.
And I don't mean to just, kick at the Protestants, but any, like, all the arguments, right? And once again, my mother is Methodist, so I'm not saying anything negative about Protestants in general. I'm talking about Protestantism, right? I feel like Protestantism was able to exist because of a lack of information for a really, really long time, right? We had 500 years where it was really hard to disseminate information, and so people can make a lot of claims. The Catholic Church says this, the Catholic Church does that, right? It's not like there was a theologian on every block. It's not like, we had Thomas Aquinas standing around everywhere. To refute all of this stuff, Catholicism was illegal in a lot of the world, especially the Anglosphere, for a long time, right? And now all of a sudden, it's like you can Google the church's answer to anything. And I think that's part of the reason why we're seeing such huge influxes of young people into the church in recent years. I think it's just the information is there, and you no longer have to believe it because your mom and dad said so. You can go find out why you're Catholic, or why you ought to be if you're curious.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. It's like you can, and also if like you're like, oh, I don't know, like is this like the right thing the church does? You can literally just Google it. It's pretty impressive.
When I was having my conversion, reversion, whatever you want to call it, in high school, it was all like the computers existed, right? Back in the floppy disk days, it was awesome, but it was all books, right? It was a copy of Rome Sweet Home that managed to make it into my hands somehow, right? That started my real, like, oh my goodness, this is actually true. And then I'm going and I'm in the library reading like church fathers. It was really cool. It was fun. I'm glad I got to experience that. But what took me weeks of just being really interested in it could have been a 5-second Google, and then I could have found a Father Mike Schmidt or a Trent Horn or a Pints with Aquinas episode or what on everything. All of my questions.
Yeah, it is funny because like I've had an experience where I'm getting into it with some like Protestants. Like I brought up like Incorrupt, and they're like, "What's that?" I'm like, "Well, we have people who are Catholic who have died, and like their body is literally preserved."
Right.
And they're like, "Oh," and like they're not my friends anymore.
And you can Google image it. Right?
Yeah.
Same with like the Eucharistic miracles and stuff. It's like, nah, dude, you can look them up. Like you can go see videos of Eucharistic miracles right now.
Yeah,
on
and
YouTube.
it's funny if you ever bring that up to like some I mean, I'm not sure, everyone's different, but a lot of times like it's a weird tension. It's like they like somehow like avoid like all that. I'm not sure. It's very interesting, and it's like there's a whole like I feel like propaganda trying to hide all the information. Like, oh, like if you look into something like that means you're a bad Protestant.
Oh, that's interesting.
You know, which I think like Catholics, like it's great.
Yeah.
You can talk to anyone. You can, because we have the fullness of the truth, and so it's like, yeah, I would love to go to your service, or I'd love to do this with you, or whatever. There's no fear if you're a good Catholic, and like.
Yeah, I was talking with my kids the other day about that, about how we should go on a little church tourism, right? Go to Mass on Sunday, but then pop over and check out what the Baptist church. We've got this little bitty Black Baptist church right up the road from my house. I love a Black Baptist church. I've gone to some Black Baptist churches before, especially when I was like
so
trying to figure out. It's awesome. Right. It is so cool, right? You got a preacher up there, and he's mad almost at you, and he's just so into it. We need more priests like that. I need a priest yelling at me all sweaty, telling me I'm going to go to hell if I don't change my ways. Like that speaks to my heart. It does. Like that's good for me.
Yeah, there's all different kinds of priests that way.
But yeah, I think that has been great, right? The fact that not to be triumphalist, but the Catholic Church is right about everything, and you can access that, and you can hear the arguments now in a way that you just could not do until 20 years ago or something like that. So I think that's really cool. Yeah. Any other benefits?
I also think that there can be some great things. Just like, I was, the other day, I was just like, looking for things. I'm not sure where I'm going with this, but it's just like, there's some great inspirational things. The other
Sure.
day, like this last week, I was like very depressed. I'm not sure why. Depression hit me, and I was just like, oh gosh. And so I went. At one point, I was like scrolling through, I think it was Facebook Reels.
Hey.
There you go. And like the algorithm quickly changed because I was looking for like inspirational, motivational things.
Yeah.
So the algorithm quickly changed where it was like every video was like inspirational, right? And so I went through and like I copied all of them and put them on a Google Doc.
Oh, that's
and it was
cool.
like for dark times.
Oh,
You know?
that's cool. I
And
like
so it's
that.
like you can get those, you can do stuff like that and like make it. And I also think a huge social media thing is like staying connected with people
Yeah, totally.
that wouldn't stay connected. For I kind of like reignited a friendship of mine who like passed. I hadn't known him for a long time, but I saw him on Facebook and I was like, dang, like that, I should get to know him again. And then
Yeah.
soon after that we called each other and like now, talk to him again and stuff like that.
I love that social media, at least seems to, from my perspective, have killed high school reunions. That makes me very happy. Nobody I know goes to high school reunions. I have no
really?
desire to go to a high school reunion. And I really appreciate social media for that. Thank you. I no longer have to drive back to the town I went to high school in to reconnect and figure out what's going on with these people's lives if I wanted to. Which I don't. And I'm sure they don't care what's going on in my life either. But they could just, everybody can look each other up on Facebook or Instagram. That's nice, right? What about, this is the age-old question that I think it's cliche, but it's fun, right? Which social media apps, if any, would Jesus have if he were alive today? Does Jesus have a YouTube channel? Does Jesus have a Instagram? Does Jesus have... And I've heard people give different answers to it. I want to keep mine to myself until Emma definitively answers it one way or the other.
I don't know. That's a fun one. I feel like, just thinking practically, he'd probably have a YouTube channel, like a Sermon on the Mount type thing.
Yeah.
But his would be like, like those YouTubers where it's just like guy, he doesn't edit it, he doesn't do anything, he just puts his camera up in the woods and stands in the woods and just talks to the camera for like 35 minutes.
You mean the best YouTube
And
videos?
then, and doesn't do anything, no intro, outro, just puts the clip up and the title's just the date. Like I feel like that'd be the Lord. And like turns off comments just like no one can comment. Like, this is the truth. Take it. So I feel like that would be him.
Yeah, I'd agree. Yeah, definitely.
I think so. Yeah, I've always been on team Jesus has a YouTube channel. A very big YouTube channel.
Yeah.
I was going to say if Father Mike would do it, then Jesus would do it, but I'm not trying to say that,
Oh my gosh, that's
that
funny.
Father Mike is one of the persons of the Trinity.
In persona Christi though.
He's just the best we got right now on Earth. What about kids? What about kids growing up? Because when did you graduate high school, Emma? What year?
Oh, it's a really 2021.
2021. When did you graduate, Leo?
2020.
Okay, I graduated in 07, so slightly before you guys.
Just a little bit.
And the landscape has changed dramatically, right, since then. What do you think? Once again, I'm not talking about social media in particular. I think we're going to dig into that more in the second half. But just digital media in general, what do you think that impact has had, for good or ill? I would argue ill. I'm a big, boo, all things technology. I'm kind of a Luddite. But on childhood and your childhood.
I think about this a lot, and I think if media is so formative to adults, like whether good or bad formation, how much more it's gonna form the minds of like little kids. I feel like it's almost something that I mean, I think about this a lot. They don't even drive a car until they're like a young teenager. So maybe it's like not keeping it this like hiding thing. Like they with alcohol, they say if like you make it the scary thing, they're more likely to rebel.
Sure.
So I think just being like real with them about it and just kind of being an example of how you would like them to end up using media as an adult, live that way, live by example, and then like as they reach into like high school time, like giving them like more independence on it and like giving them a phone maybe, and then just kind of like creating like a open relationship with them and like pointing out to them how it's affecting them, how it's making them feel, how they're living their life and stuff, and just be like, yeah, just kind of.
What was your experience like with it?
Well, when I was in like 4th or 5th grade, everybody started getting iPhones, like the first iPhone, and I felt so left out, and I was so sad, and I asked for it all the time. And then when I was in 5th or 6th grade, I got an iPhone, and I would have felt so like left out without it, but looking back, I wish I didn't have one. It was just kind of detrimental more than like good. And I think like children, they grow up and lose their innocence too fast because of like the internet and everything. I think it's just like I think it's like children would remain very like free
childlike.
And playful and childlike if they weren't exposed to all of this stuff. And I think it's like you watch kids forget how to play like a drop of a hat, and it's like what the catalyst seems to be is like giving them a phone. It's like you don't see kids play anymore, but I see kids that like can be like 12 years old and they're still running around and playing with friends, and it's like none of them are like glued to anything. So I wish I didn't have one. Even socially, I don't know, there was a lot of like sure good stuff in a way, but also just bad. You go through a lot of growth and brain development, and I don't think the way that like having a phone and like being able to like text and everything played a part in it. Like, yeah, I think, and it just kind of became like my whole world.
Yeah. What about you from a guy's perspective around the same age?
Yeah, I went to an all-boys boarding school, which we didn't have any technology. We'd have to turn in our cell phones when we got there, and I thought it was great.
St. Greg's, baby.
Yeah, St.
Big
Greg's.
shout out to St. Greg's.
Well, Gregory the Great Academy changed their name, but
oh, okay, I didn't know that. All right.
but yeah, so like it was great because we experienced there's a lot of stuff a part of the school, which was great. But I would say too, like I don't know, I was at my brother's house this past week, and it was a really cool experience. I came up the stairs, and he and his kids were all sitting on the couch watching the Olympics.
Yeah.
Right? And I think, like, before that, I was like, I don't know if I'll even have a TV. But, like, and they don't even have a TV, actually. But it was just, like, on a computer.
Sure.
Right? And it's just, like, that was, like, beautiful.
Yeah, see, and I actually do think my knee-jerk reaction, like my contrarian nature, is it's all bad forever. Lock your kids away with books and the outside, end of list, right? But there is something to be said for the communal aspect of it. And I think I missed a lot of that. I mean, I got that sort of communal part of technology when I was a kid, because if you wanted to play, like my next door neighbor had an N64 with GoldenEye on it, right? And we'd go play multiplayer GoldenEye, where you had to sit next to each other with your controllers plugged into the console, and the screen was split, and you actually was split horizontally, and you could you sat there crap talking your buddy while you were playing a game. It was so fun.
I do that with
and
my
good.
brother sometimes.
Yeah.
I go up and we play Halo.
And there was something to be said for that. That's really, really good, right? Like my wife actually, like really, this isn't a joke. My wife is really into football, not me. Like I don't watch professional sports at all, really. And I used to like them too much, and then I had to cut those out. Once again, not because I am holy, but because I am weak, and I could not handle the fact that the football team geographically closer to me lost against a football team geographically further away that I didn't know anybody on either team or anything. Somehow that would ruin my week, and that was stupid. So I was like, I gotta take a step back.
I've been there too.
But yeah, it's dumb. But my wife is really into it, and so we watched like the playoff games going to AFC and NFC, and then we watched the Super Bowl together as a family. It was like we've got a day every week where we're going to watch a football game together in the evenings, and it's going to be fun. And it was a really bonding kind of experience for us.
Did the towel go down during halftime show?
No, we watched the counter programming halftime show.
Oh, okay.
It was fine. It was okay. Yeah.
As when we were kids, what would happen is we'd have a towel set up, and at a halftime show that would like towel would come down.
You would physically drop the towel over the TV?
Yeah.
That's funny. We watched it. It was just some country music halftime show that was on, and it was fun. Yeah, we liked it. No, I don't know, that happy medium is really, really hard for me to sort of find my own life in everything, because, and I will say, I think it's atrocious for you to give your kid a phone when they're a phone with full access to everything when they're very young. I think that's terrible. I think we're going to see in the coming years sort of the fruit that is born of that, and I think it's going to be very bad fruit, like for a generation or two of young people.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I'm too alarmist, but I don't think so.
Probably not.
Yeah. So next up, I wanted to talk about social media in particular. I want to talk about social media and kids, right? You both said that you don't have anything right now, but have you historically?
Not really.
I got Facebook in 2007 after I graduated from high school. And I had it for about 10 years and I deleted it. I'm like not the social media guy. I don't really even understand how it works. I have a company that does social media stuff, but I've got like a social media guy who does the social media stuff. I've never even looked at the social media for it. So I don't know. You never had it though, really?
I've had like accounts. I've never like posted though. I have accounts mostly just follow friends, but that's about it.
Were you like full bore on everything?
I had everything, and I was in the deep end.
Be Real?
Yeah, I did.
Snapchat?
Yeah.
TikTok?
Yeah.
Instagram?
Yeah.
MySpace?
No.
Yes, nice.
But
I think the only social media should be MySpace. I would be okay with social media if it was
Bring it
just
back.
a clunky, terrible everything. Yeah.
But I had all of it, and then I got rid of it at different times. So yeah,
Okay. And right now, you said you have nothing right
I don't
now?
have anything
Except for Safari.
except for Safari.
Safari, Instagram, occasionally.
Occasionally.
All right, guys, we're going to take a real quick break. And when we come back, we're going to dive into social media and kids and all of that fun stuff, too. I'm going to go cough my brains out. Thank you guys for being here, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. This is Honest to God, a production of The Quest, Atlanta's Catholic Radio. We'll be right back. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. This is Honest to God, a production of The Quest, Atlanta's Catholic Radio. We are rocking and rolling. We got Leo here. We got Emma here. It's a party. I tried to start off the first segment with some positives. I think we actually got some good positives now. I did. I didn't want to be accused of just like abject bias against everything digital. Like I said earlier, I'm sort of a Luddite by nature. But the second half is what I'm really excited about, which is where we just dig into the issues with it. And I do want to say, producer Madeline mentioned this off air a minute ago. If anything that we're discussing, because I think we're probably all going to be on the same page, it's some version of like, it's not good. The state of things right now are not good. It's not benefiting you in any major way, right? The negatives far outweigh the positives in regards to social media. But if you feel like you're being personally attacked or something, that is not the intention. The intention is not to personally attack anybody. That being said, if it does make you uncomfortable, maybe there's some truth in it. Maybe it's worth hearing. And you floated this, Madeline. You said, maybe don't say.
Take a week off.
Yeah, take a week off.
Yeah. Delete it from your and
just try it.
Yeah, use that time to journal instead, or go outside, or fill that space that you would have normally been on it.
Well, because so much of it is reprogramming our brains, right? Our brains that get mapped, and we were talking about this off air too. We're talking about the TikTok or the Instagram Reels or the Facebook. What is the Facebook version called that middle-aged white women like? Not stories.
Shorts? Is it
shorts? I don't know.
I don't know what the Facebook one is.
The Facebook type of TikTok.
Yeah.
Right. Whatever it is, it's literally a reprogramming of the brain, and you can get into. And I feel like this is pretty common knowledge now, which I appreciate. Right. But like actual psychologists were involved in creating these things that are going to just be addictive. Did you prop up our little mustard seed thing?
Oh, yes, I did.
You did. I like that. Yeah, this episode of Honest to God is brought to you by Go Fish Outreach, going to Jamaica, saving lives, lots of good stuff. All right, but I don't know. I just want to hit the ground. I just wanted to sort of throw that disclaimer out there. If you feel attacked, it's nothing personal. We love you here at Honest to God. I promise we do. But maybe that pain is can be a little bit of a motivator to take a week off, take a day off, and just see what happens. Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. I just want to crap on social media for like an hour. Can we do that? No, I want to be a little more polite than that. But I guess sort of big picture, why? Like why you used to use a ton of social media. Mm-hmm. Now you use zero social media, except occasionally going in through your browser to open Instagram. Why? Why'd you quit?
Well, it was just kind of very it consumed my attention a lot, and also all my time, and there was a lot of good things, and I loved it. I enjoyed it. But then there's like all these pitfalls behind the scenes of like, I think it really comes down to knowing yourself, like know thyself, because there's people I know that use it to do a lot of good and they're detached from it. They don't care. It's like this tool. For me, it wasn't. It was like it was like a lens of how I viewed my life, and it would negatively affect me and like sow a lot of really bad fruit and like bad seeds and stuff. And I noticed, and as I got into an adult and I'm in college, and I just was like, one day, you know, I'm living a life of like prayer, so like the Holy Spirit will like convict and stuff. And I was like, Lord, every time I spend hours scrolling and looking at stuff, I start to hate my life in a way where I feel very like miserable in a way. Like I think about my life in this way through this lens of what I'm seeing and like what I'm seeing other people and how they're living. And I'm not actually even seeing their life. I'm seeing what they're depicting it as, and I'm becoming unhappy, and I'm feeling like I'm not enough. I feel like I'm not like gonna ever have what I like desire. I feel like unworthy, and then I get insecure, and I kind of just realized it was like trapping me. So I started to detach from stuff as I felt like I could, because I noticed at first it was really hard. Like I thought of deleting TikTok, and I really didn't want to, and I was like, well, if it's so hard for you to delete it, maybe that's why you should.
Right, sure.
Like freedom from and freedom to. So I was like, if you're not free from it, then like fasting will be a source of freedom for you. And then so I kept some stuff, like Instagram mainly. Like I got rid of Snapchat, I got rid of TikTok, I had Instagram and YouTube. And then I went to Seek conference that Focus puts on. It's like all these young Catholic adults, and at the conference the Lord asked me to fast for a whole year from all of it.
Okay.
And I committed to a whole year. I got rid of every social media app, every media app, YouTube, all of it. I had nothing anymore. And I think a lot of times fasting is really good, because if you fast from something, you can see what your disposition is like when you feast on it. So when the fast is over. So I got rid of all of it. A year later, I downloaded it all again, and it was like peace got sucked out of me like a vacuum.
Wow.
And I noticed the only positive was getting to see my friends' lives and like the stuff they posted and what they're living and being connected, and that was the only thing that I found, and it was just lost in the sea of like the bad fruit it bore for me.
Well, I think we cope by saying that. I think we cope by saying like, well, then I'm going to miss out on everything that's going on with my friends. When I would argue for most people, this was true for me when I had Facebook 1,000 years ago, right? I didn't really care that much about what was going on in 98% of their lives, and the ones that I did care about are the ones that I still occasionally text with. I mean, it was really great for like stalking my high school friends and like judging my life, comparing it to theirs, right? But that's stupid and terrible.
Yes, like as you said before, you're like, it like destroyed high school reunions, which you appreciated.
Which is awesome. Yeah.
But it's like, why would you get together with a friend if you can just like,
Facebook
go and
them.
see what, exactly, like what they're doing. So I feel like it kind of like, it like makes an alternative to like getting together and having coffee, doing stuff like that.
Right. And I think what's supposed to enhance social interaction drastically reduces social interaction, right? Because your desire to go out and spend real time, like actual face time with a human being, goes down because you're staring at pixels of that human being. And I don't think it's necessarily evil. I just think it's lame and worse.
I think it
than the real
lacks
thing.
intentionality,
Yeah.
and it's not relational inherently, and then it makes you lose the sense of community in the way that humans were meant to have it. But the funny thing is that the world's lens has been changed to that is what they see as, oh, this is relational, this is intentional, this is communal. If you don't keep up with me on these things, you must not love me, and we're not friends.
Yeah.
Like people, like they get offended if you're like not reciprocating on like media with them in a way. Like I saw that happen a lot with like teens and stuff.
Yeah, I'm like,
Yeah.
I mean, I've only like experienced it at a distance, but it's like, wait, what are you guys talking about?
Yeah.
It's so confusing for me.
Do you think it's fair for me to say that girls tend to struggle more with it than boys do?
Like just media in general.
Social media.
I think so, because if you go and you look at the development of like the female brain, in her adolescence, like you really, the lens that a girl has of herself starts to drastically change during puberty, and insecurity is like such a trap for young girls, and like it's also just the way that they view themselves through like the context of others becomes very fragile. And I think that the people I've known, including myself, that have used social media the most and spend the most time on it, they also are very insecure and very unhappy and vain. And I think we look at vanity as like this, you care so much about how you look and you're such a snob. But vanity is actually like kind of sad. Like it's like kind of an affliction. It's like not just positive, it's you deflate yourself. You care way too much about self in a way that's not always this like tooting my horn kind of thing. It's like it's a sad thing. Like I don't want to be this aware of my physical and like external self. Like I want to be free to be as I am.
I think the problem was compounded a whole lot once we had smartphones, because when I was in school, most of the kids had back in the day it was MySpace and Facebook, right? And the great thing about that is you had to be sitting at home in front of a computer to be on MySpace or Facebook, right? Just like AOL Instant Messenger. I know I'm dating myself, but like back in you had to be we could text with each other, but it was over AOL Instant Messenger.
Yeah, I remember like a Gmail. They had the little like Gmail thing. I remember I like went back and was like, holy cow, this is the first like texting.
Yeah, it's wild, right? But you had to be in front of the computer intentionally doing the thing.
Yeah.
Now we carry them around in our pockets. In fact, I think a big part of the talking about the vanity, talking about the self-esteem stuff, and just sort of the mental damage that it can do, I think so much of that is because you can't escape it. Right? If there's a girl who's mean at school, when you go home, it used to be you didn't have to worry about that girl until the next day at school or until the summer break was over or whatever. And now that mean girl, right, or even that guy that you like, maybe that nice guy that you really like or you have a crush on or something like that, right, they're always there. They're always with you. They're always able to comment to you, say things about you, and you're able to totally misconstrue other stuff they're saying because we're all selfish, right, and think that it's about us. I think that's what's really messing with people. I talked to a high school principal who had been a principal forever, and he was saying it used to be once the kids left school, everything was good. We knew that there were no problem. We finished the school day. We finished the school year. Great. The kids are out the door. No problems were had. Perfect. And he said, and now the only time when I'm feel like nothing that bad's going to happen is when we're at school. It's all the stuff that's happening when they're at home, right, that causes the issues that get brought to school.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. You said your school had zero.
Yeah, it was really neat. It was a zero technology, and it wasn't like you had to hang up your phone. It was a boarding school, so it was like you had to turn your phone in when you arrived, and you didn't get it until you left.
I think Wyoming Catholic College does that.
Does it?
Yeah.
I think you're right.
I'm pretty sure. They have you don't get a phone policy. Okay. You have to go check it out if you're leaving campus or something.
Wow.
It's I was talking to an alumni there, and they said we're the only college in the country where you can have a gun but not a cell phone. I was like, that's cool.
Yeah.
You should get that in Latin and put that on a sign somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, I would say for me personally, it's if you're a disciplined individual, have social media. It's for me personally, just I'm just not that disciplined.
Right.
And so my alternative is just don't have it.
What was your school's policy? Were you public school?
Mm-hmm. I was public school. So there wasn't one. And then when I was in middle school, everybody had phones, and then they started to see that there was issues. But it was based off the individual teacher's choice. So some of my teachers didn't care. Some of them were you can have it on you, but just don't be on it in class. But kids never listen. Right. And then other teachers would make you put it in a cubby and in a pocket on the door in the classroom, and that was how they took roll. So if your phone wasn't in there, then you were marked absent even if you were in the room. So it just varied. But it wasn't until now, I don't know if they still are doing this, but my younger sister is 4 years younger than me. She's at the high school that I went to, and they made a school-wide rule that you cannot have your phone physically out during the school day. You can have it in your bag, but you will get in trouble if it's out, and it'll be confiscated. They basically said, we're not going to ban it from being on your person, but you cannot have it externally out. Right. You can take it out of your bag once the school day's over.
I just don't understand how there was ever a world where you were allowed to have your phone in a classroom.
Yeah.
That seems like it seems like from the inception of cell phones, like it would have been. I don't even mean smartphones. I just mean cell phones, but smartphones especially, right? Why weren't we? Why wasn't everyone saying no? Obviously, you can't have this device that is a window into the sum total of human knowledge and a way to communicate with everyone on the planet on you at school. So I don't know. Call me old fashioned. I don't. Yeah. What about like? There's now in 2026, right? We've turned a new corner, right? I feel like the technology piece, the digital media piece, keeps on accelerating that train, right? And recently, the past couple of years, we've really seen this whole AI explosion. I don't know. I have no idea what impact I think that is going to have. I know this isn't a whole AI episode. We do have an AI episode. We can link it in the show notes. Yeah. But I don't know. What wrinkle do you think that's going to throw into the future of humanity, where now not only do we have the sum total of all human knowledge in our pocket all the time and the ability to communicate with everyone who exists on planet Earth, but we have supercomputers that are smarter than human beings that are also in our pockets every single moment of every single day.
I think it makes people not live as naturally. Like, I think about how this is something so new, and yet for thousands of years no one lived with this, and I really just don't believe that humans were meant to have that much awareness and knowledge of the entirety of the world. Like, it used to be you were aware of yourself, your family, and your primary community.
Right.
Anything else outside of that was a relation that you had that you would write letters to.
Right.
And maybe, like, you'd have news, but it was never, like, news that far off. Like, the amount of things that we know and that we're aware of and that we see, it's just, I feel like it's not good for us as humans, and I think it makes us live less free. And I'm like, why is it that, like, especially, like, Catholics, the example of, like, the most peaceful people that have ever lived is, like, hermits and monks that are just in a monastery.
Alone,
and they're like,
yes.
you know, and they're, like, living life in ecstasy. And, like, I just feel like, why is it that they're so peaceful then? And, like, the people that I know, except for, like, maybe a select few that use it wisely, that have, like, that use all of, like, the knowledge, like, they're lacking in peace. And then it's like, when it comes to AI, it becomes like a crutch. Like, it's because it knows everything and sees everything and does everything, then it's like you're relying on it for everything.
Right.
Which I think is, like, the major, like, tangible pitfall, other than just the detrimental large-scale effects, maybe.
What were you going to say, Producer Madeline?
Emma basically said it, but just in prettier words. I was going to say it just makes us more dumb.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think it causes us not to think for ourselves. And also, like, on Instagram, I'm scrolling through, and there's AI video after AI. There's people that look like real people,
Right.
and it's AI. Or there's this new update where there was, like, if somebody's speaking in a foreign language, AI will change their mouth to make them speak the language you want them to speak.
So it's not just dubbed over. Their mouth is literally making different shapes.
So it looks like they're speaking English, but they're actually speaking, like, Portuguese or something like that.
I mean, you have a lot of people who talk about, it's going to be Skynet. It's going to be Terminator, right? I think it's actually way, way worse than that, and it's going to be more like WALL-E. Mm-hmm. You remember WALL-E?
Yeah.
I think that, which is much worse. I want to go on record saying that I think it would be better for humanity to be hunted almost to extinction by giant murder robots than us to all be useless idiots just constantly placated by entertainment and processed food and pornography. Like, it would be way better to be hiding in trenches fighting our robot overlords. So I'm rooting for robot overlord if those are our only two options.
Yeah. At the same time, like, in glad society, it's like that is not held, like, to high esteem. Like, being, like, creative and, like, thinking for yourself,
right,
and, like, being an entrepreneur or like that's, like, all still in society a great thing to do, and you don't want to be those people,
right?
So that society, good in society for that.
Yeah, it's interesting how going back to what you were saying about what's natural and what's not natural, right? We're now seeing, like, human nature that stayed more or less the same for tens of thousands of years, right? And then in the last 30 years, stuff has gotten weird. And here's what I mean by that. Like, if you were to meet some peasant from the 11th century, right, and transport them to 1950, they would be like, whoa, that candle works when you flip that switch. Whoa, that car is a really fast horse. Whoa, people can fly in the sky like birds. But if you take that same guy and put them right now, right, it's, whoa, there's some weird alien, unimaginably complex, algorithmic understand. Like everything is just so ridiculously layer upon layer more complicated now. And it is. It's a human nature kind of situation, I think, to see like how it's going to impact us because our nature doesn't change, right? Ontologically, we are still going to be human beings. I don't know. It scares me. That's a little bit of a ramble. Mm-hmm. But I guess both with AI and with social media, right, the reality is it's not going anywhere. It's not changing, right? It's going to be here. I can complain about it all I want on AM Catholic Radio, but there's not going to be any major I can't make it disappear. I do think, and maybe this is controversial, but if I could flip a switch and make it disappear, I would. I think it'd be better for human beings, and you can disagree with me on that. But how do we live authentic lives as Catholics in this brave new world that we've been thrust into? How do we do that? Because I don't think the answer is be Amish. I don't think the answer, like I want that to be the answer. I want the answer, not like literally Amish, they're Anabaptist. It's heresy. But I mean, like, I want the answer to be move to a mountain by yourself and have a big gate out front and be off grid and all of that. But I don't think it's practical. And that's not what we're called to do either, right, as Christians.
Yeah, I think going back to what I had mentioned earlier is like just like, yeah, and like we had mentioned this kind of like be more real. So I think you need like a community, you know, and that's like a massive problem now. A lot of people don't have community, and it's like kind of devastating to see. But having like solid friends that you hang out with, and then also like discipline. Like you just have to be like, I think maybe more disciplined in a sense, because like back in the day you'd like wake up, go to your job, you know, and you had to, and that was all hard for sure. But like you didn't have this like temptation in your pocket 24/7.
Yeah, we didn't have the opportunity, right?
Yeah, exactly. And like for me personally, it's like social media is not really an issue unless something else is. So like if social media is like totally fine, unless like I'm really bored or tired, and then it's just like, oh shoot, I just spent half an hour YouTube shorts. Like why,
Yeah.
And so it's like if you your mindset's like waking up, like cold shower, doing something that like you hate, but just for discipline's sake.
Yeah, dude, I think self-mastery is a really good answer, actually, which we're all called to and all have always been called to, but it's just the ability to sin has increased exponentially. It's much easier to sin now, thanks to these phones that we have in our pockets. And I'm not just talking about pornography, right? I'm talking about everything, right? I'm talking about vanity. I'm talking about pride. I'm talking about all of this. But yeah, self-mastery is definitely like what we are called to and what we've always been called to as Catholics. The world has just gotten more. We've gotten more opportunities for the sensual and for sloth and for all of that stuff.
Yeah, and like what Emma was saying too is like doing that test, right? It's like, oh, social media is not a problem, and we actually, I have it. I'm part of this encounter group, which is a guy of like 10 guys. We get together every Monday, and everyone is like, no one admitted like social media was a problem. But they're like, all right, let's do this for like a week. Like no social media,
Yeah.
And I don't think many people actually completed that.
Yeah.
And it's like, shoot, like this is a problem.
Right.
And like our whole purpose in like living is to like be free from these things, and not like you can't use them, but be free from them.
Right.
Be free from like that, and then like depend on God.
Yeah, it goes back to what I was saying earlier about professional sports, right? I had to just cut them off in my life for a long time because I liked them way too much, right? And it really affected my ability to be the man I'm supposed to be. I was just, I don't know if the word addicted is right, but obsessed, right, with these sports teams and all of this. And so I basically did like a 5-year fast. I don't know, when did the Pats beat the Falcons in the Super Bowl? I fasted from then until the playoffs this year, and I enjoyed the playoffs. I watched them with my wife and kids because I wanted to. It was a good bonding. It's actually the way my son, my angsty 14-year-old, he's great, but he's a 14-year-old. like bonded with his mom a lot was they would watch football together. And I said, all right, I want to be a part of this. I want to be a part of the family during these times and not go somewhere else. And I could enjoy it and then walk away from it. And as soon as I feel myself being pulled back in, I'm probably going to have to say, all right, I'm done for a little while. Yeah. What do you think, Emma?
I think I agree. And then the other part of it is, I think sometimes the way that even I think and a lot of people think is we see all these things and how they're bearing bad fruit and how they're a problem. And we're like, well, like, oh my gosh, this is causing all this negative stuff in the world. We have to, like, cut it off and, like, go away from it. But at the end of the day, like, I get convicted a lot. Like, the Lord calls all of us as Christians to be missionaries to the world, which means, like, you're not of the world and you're living in the kingdom of heaven and you're not living in the world, but, like, go minister to the world. So I think sometimes, with that being said, I just kind of chose to just discern every moment and discern things. And I think if you prioritize your faith and your family above everything else, then discern all these other things like media and be like, is this impacting my faith and my family, positive, negative, neutral? And then just, exercise your self-mastery. Like, you have a spirit of self-control. Right. So, like, exercise it, do that, and kind of, like, put yourself, in those places of, like, fasting to see how you actually receive it and what it's bearing for you. But I think at the same time, I don't think we should just, like, shut everyone off from it, or, like, I think kind of just, like, seeing it as the Lord can bear good fruit if we go plant those seeds of good fruit, which means you have to go into where there's bad fruit and plant.
No, we're definitely called, right? We can't just retreat and hide as much as I want to.
Yeah.
I think it was a great point you made about sort of laws of subsidiarity, right? And the fact that, no, what you can actually most directly affect are the people around you, part of your community, right? For me, that's predominantly my wife and my children, right? But then it's my community and our friends and my church and all of these things. And we have to keep that in mind when we're constantly seeing everything that's going on in the entire world and all these people and all this everything. Yeah.
I also want to throw in there quick. I'm not sure when this is going to air, but Lent is coming up, right? So it'd be like a great challenge, or just to see, like, how attached you are to social media, because ultimately Lent is to attach ourselves more to God.
Yeah.
And so for anyone looking for a good challenge or Lenten, And
I think even if
Lent has already started, actually.
Yeah, Lent has already started as we're filming this, but also if Lent is still going on right now, or if Easter just happened, and you feel like you're called or you're convicted to give this up, do it as in Easter celebration. Give up social media or some media platform that you feel like you're overusing or, like, obsessed with.
Yeah, and if you can't do a month, do a week, do a day, just see how it impacts you. And this has been awesome, guys. I really appreciate y'all's time. These always go by really, really fast. But that's all she wrote. Producer Madeline, I'm afraid that we're done. Thanks, guys, for being here. Ladies and gentlemen at home, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. This is Honest to God, a production of the Quest, Atlanta's Catholic Radio. Producer Madeline, signing off.
Signing off.
Good job. Over and out.